Just rounding out them 12 days of Christmas, right? I guess that's where all the spawn of Satan have gone. Well, I'm a woman who has survived not one, but 2 acts of genocide in less than a decade. Forced adoption is legally defined as genocide. And in the fall of 2018, a Beast of Belial bank, CIBC, hired some satanic savage soulless solicitors from Cursed Kamloops and Victoria here to steal my in-trust private property. And then the satanic cult, poisonous puke province of BC, embezzled the entire estate. Because I'm experiencing the same thing that all the peculiar people experience while we're here. We are hated by the world. The world is constantly taking pot shots at us to try to fucking murder us. Now, in both instances, I have been innocent. Yeah, not a good time. So I have to come. I have an obligation to tell the truth, and I have an obligation to speak, and it doesn't matter who listens or who doesn't act, because what you've got here is you've got the Victoria Puke Department and the Saanich Puke Department fully entrenched in this act of genocide. They're protecting the criminals. And if you're following, you'll now know, or you would have been aware, that another ministry in the province has decided to cut me off necessaries of life because I refuse to tell the lie that survivor pension benefits are income. They're not. So they've just cut me off. So I'm about to be homeless here next week. So these public servants don't understand what their job is. No, well, a public servant, right? They're hired because they're the bottom of the barrel. They're hired because they're fucking evil. And those who are evil are accustomed to doing evil, and those accustomed to doing evil are incapable of doing good. They have taught their tongues to lie. They are all compulsive liars. Well, when I say all, the majority of them are compulsive liars. I've been dealing with them for years. They're absolutely useless. Just fucking useless. If you've gone into my YouTube channel and listened to the conversations I've had with these sewer rats over the last year, it's blatantly obvious that they are absolutely useless. Children of the devil. They're all the same. Right? Satan's name means you are blind. Exactly. The blind lead the blind, and then they all go to hell. So I'm not one of the blind. I'm one with sight. So what we have here is the duties, obligations, and responsibilities of the pigs. A pig is a person in government, and my brother told me that when I threw my pearls to the pigs, the persons in government, that these pigs would turn around and rip me to shreds, and they do it to me every single time. That's what they do, right? And yet they've got all these responsibilities, and they all believe that they're above the law. Well, they're fucking not. Yep. So it's seriously got to be a lie that every individual is equal before and under the law, and has equal right to equal protection and benefit of the law without discrimination. So what the fuck is the law here? What, do as thou wilt is the whole of the law? Because that's my experience here. Do as thou wilt is the whole of the law here in Canada. They're talking about this Constitution of Canada. Right, what a joke that is. I'm not a citizen, I'm not a human, so they can shove that shit. Canadian Human Rights Commission, yeah, they're a bunch of fucking absolute fucking assholes. I contacted them when my house was being stolen, and it's the same fucking song and dance you get from every single pig that pretends to be one of these public service agencies. We don't see anything wrong with what's going on. No, fuck, of course you wouldn't. You're fucking going to burn in hell. Of course you wouldn't be able to see the truth if it fucking hit you in the face like a fucking 2x4. Oh, and look at here. We've got Canada's a party to international conventions. One on the elimination of all forms of racial discrimination and another one on civil and political rights. Oh, well, fucking isn't that just lovely? And again, it's a bunch of fucking blah, 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 about equal protection, entitled to equal protection. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely an ethnic and linguistic minority, and I am a people. Right? Isn't it just fucking hilarious that it doesn't matter how many times you shove the truth down their throats, eh? They're just not gonna fucking, they can't see it. Yeah, oh, I'm not allowed to be denied the right to enjoy my culture or enjoy my own language. I can't tell you how many times I do have some proof that I was denied the right to speak my own language when some fucking puke tried to steal money from me. Apparently I've got the right to equal treatment before tribunals and all other organs administering justice. Well, there's not a fucking organ in Canada who understands what justice is. So that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Right? Because members of the BARF don't know fuck all about fuck all. They can't shove a straight stick up a dead dog's ass. That's why they've been called to the BARF. Right to security. Okay. Yeah, protection. What the fuck? The state? Yeah, okay. Fucking a land of fiction and fucking fantasy. Oh, against violence and bodily harm. Okay, well, what a bunch of bullshit that is. Well, it's being inflicted. Violence and bodily harm is being inflicted against me on purpose by government officials and individual groups and institutions. So we got a fucking problem here. Well, and I've got right to take part in the horror of Babylon and its fucking wings, as well in the conduct of the satanic savage public at any level, and have equal access to public service. So then why have I been cut off? Because last year the Ministry of Social Destruction and Poverty Development stole over $6,000 from me because they continue to tell this fucking lie that a benefit is income and it's not. A fucking retard could figure that out. Isn't that right, Nicholas Simmons? Isn't that right, David Eby? Isn't that right, Kevin Falcon? And how about you, Lana Popham? What the fuck do you do all day? Besides prove that you're a child of the fucking devil. Freedom of peaceful assembly and association. Yeah, I don't think so. That's not happening. So here's what's going on. These public servants also have some rules to follow under the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, and on the elimination of all forms of discrimination against women. But that's what I'm experiencing fucking all day, every day, with no remedy in sight. Because I'm dealing with the dead. I'm dealing with fucking zombies. I'm dealing with children of the devil. And I'm not a child of the devil, so there's a war going on between us. There's a full-fledged fucking war, right? They're trying to murder me. I've been homeless and destitute for 3 years. Now let me show you why. You need to teach you about trust, right? Now 20 years ago, literally 20 years ago, my spouse and I purchased property. There's the address, 604 Ponces Crescent in West Saanich. Okay, here's our property. This is the property that we purchased. We took possession at the end of January 20 years ago. 20 years ago, right? This is property. Our property. My family's property. Now, my spouse drew up a trust fund. This is a trust fund, okay? This is a trust. That's what you're looking at here. At the end of January 2016, a year before he suddenly passed away, my spouse provided me the security, perpetual use of our property. Have you read this? It's 2 pages long. Listen, when the truth is told, you don't need fucking thousands of pages. There's my spouse's name, Jack Daly. I'm Victoria. Yes, hello, hi, how are you? Now, I'm the executrix. I'm the trustee. And you've read this, right? My spouse gives to me all of the property of every kind, wherever located, to administer as he directs. In administering the estate, I have the right to convert or retain, as set out in paragraph 4A. So boom, we stop right there, because now we need to go read paragraph 4A, don't we? Because these are instructions. And no one's going to disrespect my spouse, or I'll fucking tear you limb from fucking limb. So let's look at 4A. In addition to all powers conferred by law. What the fuck? Powers by law. Okay, what law are they talking about? In addition to all powers conferred by law, I give me the following powers to be exercised or not exercised, because what you have to understand is, once my spouse passes away, all of the property, I control all of it. And so that's why they have to write into this trust that I have the right to exercise or not exercise. Because it's all mine, right? I'm the controller of everything. I decide. That's why it says that. I've got discretion. So then it goes on. I can convert the estate or any part of it into money, decide how and when and on what terms. I keep the estate or any part of it in the form it is when he passes for as long as I decide. And that power applies even if the property is not an investment, a debt is owing on the property, or the property does not produce income, because this is now trust property. It's settled land. It's settled fucking land. So Part B is really important. I can at any time compromise, settle, waive claims due to or due by the estate for whatever consideration on whatever terms I decide to extend, continue, or renew any evidence of any liability that he may have had as endorser, guarantor, surety, or otherwise, for any liability of any person. Now, my spouse took care of business. I witnessed the man's life for over 20 years. I know who he is. I know what he is. He never missed a bill. I watched that man for over 20 years. He worked for the same company for 50 fucking years, and not one time did he ever miss a bill payment. The bill was either paid on time or before it was due. So he took care of business, right? That's who he was. He took care of things. I never saw him not take care of things. So that's why there's a trust here. That's why he went and had this drawn up. That's what a man does, right? Men take care of their business. And they take care of the people that they love. Well, he loved me for over 20 years. He was there for almost important moments in my life. So he has insurance on the mortgage. So the mortgage gets paid out, and then we've got a house that's mortgage-free. Well, I don't know if you know anything about banks. I now have become an expert on how these beast of Belial bankers generate 20 to 40% increase in profit every fucking year, because everything that they do is fucking fraud. Everything that they do is racketeering and profiteering. That fucking bank doesn't make a dollar righteously. Not one fucking dime. They don't loan anybody anything. They never have. That's against the banking rules. So I don't know if you saw what we purchased our home for. But what you'll see here is we purchased our house for $230,000 20 years ago. So now the claim to fame is that house is worth fucking, $750,000, which is just absolute fucking bullshit, by the way. But this is how these fucking sewer rats run their world, right? This is how the wicked run the world. So they're the mortgage-free house there. And I'm not playing ball, right? I'm in shock. I'm in shock. There's a lot of awful things happening to me all of the time. And then all of a sudden, my best friend is gone. And I'm literally reeling. I'm reeling. And I don't know what's going on. So I make the mistake of going to members of the BARF. And members of the BARF are all compulsive liars. The only thing that they're looking to do is to steal as much money from you as they fucking can. And that's what ended up happening. They're trying to force me to do probate. Well, I don't need to file a probate. It's a private family matter. There's no, this doesn't need to be registered. Nobody needs to see this. I now control everything. I now have full and complete perpetual usage of the property that now has no mortgage on it. And I don't have to pay property tax either. It's settled land. That's what a trust is. That's why you have one of these. That's why you go get one of these. There's lots of information, pretty much in lots of different places where you can find out how these work and why you want one. Well, you need to have one. Well, that's exactly what this is. This is the original. That's why it's blue. That's why there's this blue border around it. So this is Wittig's signature. There's his signature there. Right? The truth is not complicated. You know what I mean? That's why it's fucking 3 pages long. And there's his wet-in signature. His hand would have put to this paper, right, ink. His hand put his ink on there. His signature's here. Okay, so twice a week in Canada, mortgage and title fraud is happening to steal a house, and they're stealing mortgage-free homes because they're easy to steal. And banks are behind all of this, and they're soulless savage fucking solicitors, right? So my partner was doing business with CIBC, you can see here. And this is Fulton and Company. These are the fucking pukes from Kamloops that filed a fraudulent, vexatious, without merit, absolutely fraudulent as fuck petition. They stole the house, and there's hundreds of witches who aided and abetted this, right? Because here's his name here, here's the address of our house, and this fuckface is involved in it, right? This Carlos McDonald, registrar of land titles. He's fucking all about it, aren't you? Aren't you fucking Carlos? And so our 5 witches who act as the BC Supreme Court. I went in that fucking whorehouse at 850 Burdett Avenue again and again and again, and I'm like, you're stealing in trust property. You can't do that. They're like, oh, fucking rights we can. Not only we're going to do that, we're going to fucking steal every dime of the inheritance and leave you homeless and destitute. And no one's going to fucking lift a finger to undo this. Yeah. Yepers, that's what's going on. And I'm supposed to act normal, right? I'm supposed to act normal, be nice, be kind, not fucking lose my mind. I'm being destroyed by gross negligence. And now because I won't tell the lie that survivor pension benefits is income, now another coven of wickedness is now, oh, well, they give me $14 to live off of when my cost of living is like $2,000. Right, because they saddled me with a rental fee I can't afford. They saddled me with a storage locker fee I can't afford. I have a car. I've had the same car for 30 years. And, yeah, nobody gives a fuck. Like, I'm not even kidding. So, you're looking at one of my email accounts. This is my Proton Mail account here, and this is... Well, check out all the fucking rules, eh? Look at this. The rule of law, right to effective access. Right? That's coming from one of these whorehouses calling itself the court. And then you've got the Supreme Court of Canada affirms access to justice and freedom of expression. Well, there's a problem with me when I post on YouTube. Because they seem to believe that their opinion has something to do with my account. Well, it certainly doesn't. I'm not interested in the opinion of arrogant fucking assholes. Thank you. Your opinion is irrelevant. I don't have an opinion. I have the truth to tell. That's not an opinion. So here's a letter that I'm writing on November the 1st. And this has gone to a lot of different children of the devil. Because that's who I'm dealing with. They've all joined Hoove and Hoove, right? They're all joined fucking Hoove to Hoove to try to fucking murder me. Pay attention, criminals of criminal organs tagged. You know, so you have to identify yourself, don't you? Well, I'm not. I have Rh negative blood, so there you need to trust the science on that one. I'm not from this world. That's part of the problem, right? So I'm a competent, capable of handling my own affairs woman, widowed in 2017. My interest, private property, stolen. By application and title fraud. Yeah, well, that's the truth. That's the truth. I'm not telling lies. I couldn't make this up if I tried. I honestly couldn't make this up if I tried. And you know there's no such thing, right, as CIBC. There's no such thing as the Canadian Bar Association. It's all made up of fucking humans, right? Humans are legally defined as monsters. Because they are monsters. A human is not a man. A human is not a woman. That's why they're sexed as male and female. That's why they have no understanding, no wisdom, no knowledge, right? No truth in them. It's just fucking, it's the law of the fucking jungle, right? Because they're fucking animals. They all got names. So I write documents, right? I write down what they've done to me. Here's one here. Among other racists, liars, perjurers, guilty of genocide and mischief, causing danger to my life. So 4 guilty evildoers, criminals of BC Real Estate Association, because you have to understand that BC real estate agents are involved in all of these crimes. Well, you have to have one of those fucking maggots to fucking push the properties, right? They do absolutely fucking nothing and make, well, one fucking asshole made $15,000 stealing my house from me for doing absolutely nothing but committing an act of genocide and an act of mischief causing danger to my life, which carries the fucking sentence of life in prison. So obviously I've tagged a bunch of fucking idiots acting as probably the Vancouver Island Real Estate Association, the BC Real Estate Association, who could fucking care less that this has gone on, right? They don't fucking care. They just care about the money, right? The fucking monopoly money that has no fucking value at all. So I'm like, because you got all these agencies that are supposed to do something about this, and they don't do anything about it. And they're all getting paid. They're all sitting in fucking houses, driving brand new fucking cars, got fucking lots of money in the bank, and I have nothing. I have got less than nothing. Well, they stole the house so they could facilitate money laundering. That's what they're doing. So this was sent on November the 1st, so I said, today, November the 1st, 2022, I'm going to be collecting all the rents due and payable by the trespassers until evicted, as that income belongs to me, because I'm the real owner for the last 20 years of that property. Now, I attended the property repeatedly, and what I did was I did live on Instagram. So when I went to the house, I put Instagram live on, and I have myself proven, dropping off the truth to these trespassers that you're trespassing on private property, you need to leave. You need to stop paying your rent to Senator Dennis and Benjamin Howe of 1474 Faircliff Lane because they don't have a valid title and they don't have a valid mortgage and they never will. It's stolen property. Right, so they're not going to continue to make money using my property while I have nothing. They're making passive income using my stolen property. So I made them aware last year of what they're doing. Yeah, fuck, do you think anybody fucking gives a shit? So I write documents, right? I have to. I have to drop my own documents because I'm counsel. Where I come from, the victim of the crime is the prosecutor. Where I come from, the victim of the crime has to push for justice. Where I come from, the victim of the crime is the executors of the criminal. So Benjamin Howe and Senator Dennis, they continue to call the fucking pigs acting as Saanich PD and Vic PD, who then assault me. They protect the criminals, and they assault me, the victim of the crime. So here I have to go in. This is a private information. That's what this document is. Right? Province of British Columbia. That's just a fucking fiction right there. And I have to explain, I'm the special prosecutor. I'm the King's Counsel. Yep. Not that pervert that tries to pass itself off as a king. That's not the king I'm talking about. And so then I have to shove down their throats that, hey, you're public servants. You have all these duties, obligations, responsibilities. Like, you have to uphold the elimination of all forms of discrimination against women. You have to uphold and follow the elimination of all forms of racial discrimination and the Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. Well, pretty obviously I'm a woman in need of protection, right? Because they keep trying to murder me. And by the way, where I come from, telling a lie is the act of murder. Where I come from, slander is the act of murder. So they've slandered my spouse by claiming that he's gone bankrupt when he hasn't. They've completely fucking destroyed his good name and his righteous legacy so they could fucking commit an act of genocide against me because of their hatred for me. Right? And yeah, my native language happens to be scripture, right? I know better than I know anything else. I have to. That's how I stay alive down here in this fucking hell. So here's Senator Dennis and Benjamin Howe. I've been to their lair. I've been to their fucking satanic lair on 1474 Faircliff Lane to drop off information. The first time I dropped off information was November the 27th, 2021. And I provided them all the proof that any fucking buddy needs to see that that's stolen property. So what do? They keep fucking calling the pigs, and the pigs then turn around and violently, viciously, criminally harass, intimidate, assault, fucking violate. Well, it's satanic ritual abuse is what I'm experiencing. So the sewer rats down here, the humans, right, the heathens, which I'm not a heathen, and I'm not here to fucking learn the way of the heathen either, thanks. I'm here to make sure the fucking heathen understands how the living do things, because this is how the fucking dead do things, this fucking bullshit right here. So these sections are from the Criminal Code of Canada. And these are just some of the sections that these two fucking idiots have violated in order to continue to collect my money. They're collecting passive income using my stolen property. So they turned my single-family dwelling into a commercial property, driving up the house prices. Well, that's what does it, for those of you who don't know what's going on and how house prices get jacked. That's how it happens, right? Because that property has no mortgage on it. But these fucking two pukes have a they've got a $750,000 fucking fraudulent mortgage on that property. Right? So they can rent out the top and the bottom. Right? Collecting how much? So the worst part about what they're doing here, now, mischief causing actual danger to life, you're going to jail for the rest of your fucking lives. That's the sentence. The sentence is imprisonment for life if you are guilty of mischief causing danger to life. And not only are those two guilty, the fucking savages trespassing on the property are guilty, and every single fucking pig from Victoria and Saanich Puke departments, they're also guilty, because they're protecting the criminals instead of protecting me. Because you have to understand, children of the devil, they think backwards. Children of the devil believe that the lie is the truth and the truth is the lie. That's what happens when you're a child of the devil. Right? And that's who I'm dealing with. I mean, who gets chosen to be pigs here in Canada? The police, right? Poly meaning many. C is fucking cursed, and E is evildoer, you know? Many cursed evildoers, police. They're not protecting anybody. They're here to generate revenue by force and by fraud. That's what they're there to do. Period. I've fucking dealt with them numerous times when a crime is being committed against me, and every time I do, they fucking tell me fucking that it's a civil matter when it's not, clearly fucking not a civil matter, because they're absolutely fucking lazy. They do nothing all day every day for their fucking paycheck and their medical and their dental and their fucking pensions, and they're there to protect the criminals. That's why I've been out of my house for 3 years. So then I have to explain to them, right? You're public servants. You do what I tell you to do. That's your job. You don't tell me what's going on, piece of shit. I tell you what's going on. Because it's pretty obvious that your fucking mind just fucking spins on stupid, right? It's the fucking snake eating its own tail. Your mind just fucking spins on absolute fucking stupid. You like the taste of your own vomit, and you like the fucking taste of your own fecal matter. You're a child of the devil. That's why you're a beast. That's why you represent the beast. That's why you've been hired. Beasts get hired to represent the beast. So this isn't long. It's pretty obvious what I'm saying, right? I don't associate with persons who have membership to the Law Society of British Columbia or the Canadian Bar Association for the following physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual reasons. Blessed are those who do not take counsel from the wicked, stand in the seat of evildoers, or sit in the seat of mockers. I cannot even begin to explain to you how important that instruction is for my people. Because the children of the devil are dead. They're fucking dead. They're meatheads. They're dead from the fucking neck up. The fucking lights are on, but nobody's home. They're literally fucking useless unless they're performing acts of murder, theft, and destruction. They cannot perform anything good, right, and just. They have no fucking clue what that even is. So members of the CBA have proven as written to be ruthless, cursed, arrogant, useless, and everything that they are and everything that they do is written down in the DSM. The DSM are the scriptures. Everybody's got their name and their life written in the DSM. I don't care who the fuck you are or what your fucking claim to fame is. And if you get around me for any length of time, I'll tell you exactly who the fuck you are. Yeah, that's why the world hates me, right? Eyes that see and ears that hear. So they are. They're children of their father, the devil. They're guilty of perpetual fraud, slander, lawlessness, unlawful conversion, racism, perversion, perjury, racketeering, injustice, confusion, chaos, murder, theft, destruction, and genocide. Every day, all day, if you knew anything about Canada and the level of injustice that goes on here in these whorehouses trying to pass themselves as fucking law courts, it's not a fucking law court. It's a liar's coven. It's a liar's fucking coven of corruption. Right? And Jesus said something when he was here that's absolutely true, like everything else out of his mouth. They're unfit for service, members of the barf. They've been called of the barf because they've proven themselves to be children of the devil. Right? And what did my brother say when he was here? Destruction to you as well, experts in witchcraft. Well, that's what legal is. Legal is witchcraft, practiced by witches. He replied, you weigh the innocent down with heavy burdens, but you witches will not lift a finger to lighten their load. Not one member. Not David Eby, who used to pretend to be the BC Attorney General. Not this fucking maggot that's now pretending to be the BC Attorney General, Murray Rankin. Let's see, we also had another satanic savage, Johnny Van Camp. Hey, and Rebecca Watmont, we can't forget about that witch. Not one member of the Law Society of BC will lift a narcissistic, sociopathic, antichrist finger to work justice after my interest private property was stolen. So how they steal these houses is application and title fraud. And then, in order to steal from the inheritance, they had to steal it all. So they just fucking stole it all. And I went into the whorehouse more than once to get that money. And unless I fucking agree to extortion and fraud, they're going to continue to keep it all. Unless I suck their cock and twiddle their twat, they're just going to keep it all. And who's going to step in and do something about it? This matter orchestrated to cause me intentional loss, harm, and injury, now before Public Service Agency, Provincial Court of British Columbia, will be adjudicated by a person acting as Justice of the Peace. To eliminate injustice, discrimination, and racism, this person must become expert on procedure of the King's Common Law High Court. These laws are non-negotiable obligations, duties, and responsibilities of the public servant to assist myself and my family. Now, there is a DSM. There's a Bible sitting on every single witness box of every single fucking whorehouse room. It sits right there on the witness box. And if you become expert on the first 5 books, you understand what justice is, and you understand what it isn't. Because everybody else in that book, minus the false apostle Paul, is right off their fucking mind with rage because, well, the law's not being followed, right? The way, the truth, and the life is not being followed. Not being followed. And that's a problem for my people. Because the instructions for court and how you run a court, a legitimate court, are written down in there very specifically how those rules are. And nobody in that courtroom is allowed to have an opinion. Law and justice is not about opinion. It's about you bringing the truth into the court and the liars held responsible according to what's prescribed in the law. Because where I come from is eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Whatever the fuck you did to me, you better believe I'm going to do to you. That's what justice is. That's what brings healing and wholeness. And nothing else outside of the way, the truth, and the life is justice. Nothing else is going to bring healing for the victim of the crime. So here's the other problem. If I now went and provided my testimony to a member of the BARF, that BARF member has no common law first-hand knowledge of what took place. I, the victim of the crime, am the only one who understands what took place because I'm the one who's experienced it all. So you can't have BARF members in your courtrooms because they don't have first-hand knowledge of the crime. You understand that? You understand how fucking sick that is? So no hearsay permitted in the King's Common Law High Court. And why it's the King's Common Law High Court is because those laws apply to everyone, both righteous and the wicked. Those laws apply to both the King's peculiar people and the devil's children. And mark my word, no matter what you did in this life, it will be done to you in eternity. I don't care what it is that you did here. If you caused harm to someone else, you've committed the unforgivable trespass of blasphemy. And you are fucked. You're fucked. That's why these physicians of no value, when they take their oath is to do no harm. Because even these fucking witches have a level of understanding that they get that you don't cause harm to others. But they do it every day, all day. They do it all day, every day. And they never get held accountable because you've got a wall of witches who become, well, what the fuck do they call themselves? Barristers and solicitors? You gotta be kidding me. Is that what you want to call yourselves? That's just a fucking fancy name for I'm a witch. I'm a servant of Satan. That's what that means. So Benjamin Alexander Dennis, hey, listen, you know that you're in possession of stolen property. So you're the only two fucking sewer rats who could speak for yourselves. And they know what they're doing. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You know where they got that from? They got that from the DSM, the first 5 books of the Bible. That's where they got that from. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. The King of Kings doesn't give a fuck if you don't understand the law. You better understand it. You're going to be held accountable one way or another. Besides, these two assholes, you can't afford a racketeer acting as an agent for the Law Society of BC, as they owe, well, close to $400,000 in civil damages. So they're destroying my property, right? And they're being protected by the pigs. I've been assaulted by the Vic pigs and the Saanich pigs repeatedly over the last year, violated. Because this is why I have to read this outright, because that was the one that went on November 1st. There was another one. So then what happens is I drop off some mail to the trespassers, and I'm like, well, I'm going to come back on the 7th of November, and I'm going to pick up what's due and payable. So what happens? On the 7th of fucking November at 4:20 p.m., there's 2 fucking pigs at the door from Saanich. They're here to assault me. They're here to intimidate me. They're here to commit the crime of breach of trust by public officer. So I can't go pick up my money. So I can't go through my house and see what stolen property is still being utilized. Because that's what I said. I've said, well, I need to go inside and see what property you're using of mine, like my chest freezer. That was fucking stolen. So are you using my stolen chest freezer? Is that what's going on here? And what else are you using of mine? Because you need to get the fuck out of my house. So on November 27th, for close to 2 hours, I go through a document that I've written, and I explain, like nobody else can explain, how my house got stolen and why they steal houses. And yet we're at the 5th of January, and fuck yeah, nobody's home, right? Nobody fucking wants to do anything about this. I'm not going back into that fucking... Listen, the horse did this to me. You think I'm going to go in there and get treated any differently than I did the last time I went in there? And what's David Eby doing about it? Right? What the fuck is David Eby doing about this? Murray Rankin, what are you doing about this? Hey, Dean Duthie, what are you doing about this? Well, for therapy, I write down what's happening to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, what else am I going to do? I'm the only one who can give testimony about what's happening to me. I'm the one who's experiencing this level of fucking persecution. That's not only illegal, it's unlawful. You don't treat anybody this way. You know, who the fuck do you think you are? Because I was writing another document. You have no idea how many times I've had fucking a child of the devil commit crimes against me. I go to the fucking pigs, and the pigs are like, yeah, no, it's a civil matter. No, motherfucker. It's not a fucking civil matter. Like, are you fucking... You're children of the devil. You're useless. So when I write a document, usually the first thing I'm doing is I'm having to explain who I am. Like, what the fuck? I have to explain who I am. Well, I have to, don't I, right? You gotta understand. Humans are not people. Humans are not people. Humans share 98 to 99% of their DNA with apes and chimpanzees. Evolution's not a joke. It's reality, I'm afraid. Humans and chimps are 98.5% the same in DNA. Yeah, exactly. This is all written in the DSM. Go look up 1 Samuel 2:12, 2 Samuel 23:6, and Matthew 13:41. And right there, you're going to understand. There's your humans. They have thorns on their blood. Rh positive. Male and female animals, humans. Men and women, Rh negative. Right? That's why we're called Israel, because we as real men and we as real women. Speaking the truth. To those who have ears that hear. Listen, if you're of the truth, you're not going to be uncomfortable with anything that I have to say. But if you're not of the truth, you're not going to like me at all, right? There's fucking rights. Jesus says, not my circus, not my monkeys. Our cousins, the chimps, yeah. Why do you think the Egyptians used to wear them animal heads? They knew who they were. And why do you think my brother was calling them animal names? Listen, he has eyes that see and ears that hear, okay? He knew exactly what he was dealing with. Some of the times they didn't even have to open their mouths and he knew what he was dealing with. Right? Rh negative. Not from here. Science can't explain it. I don't create these memes. I just happen to put them together. I take all the puzzle pieces and put them together to try to teach the world the truth. Right? Because if you're not interested in the truth, what the fuck are you interested in? Somebody did this. Somebody made this. Somebody made a meme that says INFJ, we're basically Jesus. I didn't make that. INFJs, 1 to 3% of the population. So again, right? Rare. So rare. So very rare. I didn't make this up. If an INFJ tells you that they're an INFJ and you don't look it up, well, basically just get away from us, right? Because there's no way you're going to be able to even come close to understanding us. It took me a long time to figure out what the fuck I am and who the fuck I am, because I was having a hard time trying to figure out, why is this fucking terrible shit always happening to me? What the fuck is going on here? And slowly, over the decades, my father would provide me pieces of the puzzle. Okay, so this is piece of the puzzle, here's another piece of the puzzle, here's another piece of the puzzle, and it's the glory of the king's people to search out a matter. Right? Well, because it's true, right? From the outside looking in, you can never understand it. From the inside looking out, you can't explain. Like, how do you explain it? But it's all written in the DSM. Yeah, because you have no idea the amount of pressure, right? The amount of pressure that's going on. It's the pressure cooker of persecution, right? It's the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego fire. In INFJ, they're just... when I was growing up, I would get falsely accused of having multiple personalities. Do you have any idea what that's like? And it's not true. Do you have any idea what that does to an individual's spirit? Like, it breaks you, right? Like, you just think you're a piece of shit. Because that's what you keep hearing. Is it true? No. But it's devastating nonetheless, right? Well, thank goodness. Thank goodness that the world has information that I can utilize to provide an explanation as to why these terrible things happen to me. I mean, this is the age of information. Right, isn't it? Yeah, like, why are you doing this? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Natural born counselor. Well, that's one of the 7 spirits. That's one of the virtues of my father. He has 7 of them, and one of them is counselor. So, in the DSM, or I guess the world refers, like my brother would be referred to as a prophet. But really, we're prosecutors. That's what we're doing down here. We're prosecutors, because when you really get a good grip on the first 5 books and you start to study how the courts work, where I come from, the way the courts work where I come from is the King of Kings. He is the judge. He sits there. But then he also has another sitting beside him, because there's always 2 or 3. There's always 2 or 3 witnesses of the truth to establish the truth and to establish judgment. And so he chooses, well, so Moses and Daniel and Ezekiel and Jeremiah and Hosea and Micah, they're all prosecutors. And so they're sent here to be witnesses to the wickedness of the generation. But at the same time, they also have to say something, because if the truth isn't spoken to the wicked, then the wicked don't get held responsible. Which is why there's a war going on between my people and those of the world. It's like a full-on war. And my brother wasn't kidding, right? He said, you know, you're going to have a war going on between you and your same-sex parent. Well, I experienced that. Didn't understand it when I was growing up. Not a lot of fun. When, you know, because wisdom comes with living. You know, you have to live life to gain the wisdom. And so it's different, you know, it's not easy. So INFJs need to know the reason behind everything. They're deeply curious about the why. Yeah, exactly. Why is this happening? Like, why is this going on? Like, what the fuck is going on down here? Well, and you were, right? The whole world is deceived. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. That's why Jesus makes mention that it's the chosen that aren't deceived, that they can't be deceived. That's what I'll tell you all day long. If you think Paul's an apostle, you better think again, because he's not. INFJ, it's not our fault. You know, the world's too stupid to understand us. So that's why when I go and tell the truth to these pigs acting as law enforcement, they just turn around and fucking attack me, right? And that's extremely traumatizing for me, because I'm telling the truth, and they're paid to do a job. And their job is to protect the victims of crime, not to protect the criminals. Okay, but everything's flipped here. You know, evil is good here and good is evil here. So, and they can't understand me, right? Because they're already dead. So I'm one of the living trying to communicate with the dead. So I've got them taped. I've got them recorded. I've got them recorded assaulting me now, because I've had to start recording them like I didn't understand. Now, where was that? Was it here? So I was drawing up a document recently about how many times I have been fucking assaulted. You understand this, right? You understand what happens to you when the birth certificate. So they turn you into a corporation. They turn that all capital name there. That's a QSIP number on this birth certificate. They turn you into a corporation, and the courts and the public servants can only deal with fiction. They can't deal with living men and women. So that's how a name's written on a tombstone. Right? It's not written, it's written in glossa. You can't sex me as a female, for fuck's sake. So, no thanks. So throughout the DSM, it describes the 2 different there's only 2 different types here. It's either you're one of the righteous or you're one of the wicked. There is no in between. There's no gray area. It's one or the other. You either produce good fruit or you don't. And it's true. So who am I dealing with? Who is David Eby? Who is Murray Rankin? Who is Mike Farnsworth? Who is Lana Popham? Who is Dean Duffy? Who is Del Manick? They're wicked. Who is Benjamin Howe and Sandra Dennis? They're wicked. They don't care about justice for me? Are you kidding me? 3 years out of my house? 3 years with absolutely not a penny to my name after I've inherited security? And once they liquefied, well, they just took over. They just took over the estate. like they were fucking granted fucking as trustees. They just fucking took it over and they fucking stole everything and left me with nothing. They don't call and ask how I am. They don't give a fuck. I mean, the wicked are useless. Yeah, I am afraid that's the truth. So I was writing up another document, right? Because I've had 2 acts of genocide in less than a decade, right? They stole my baby. Highly marketable children are sold here to the protected perverts and pedophiles in Canada. And then they came and stole the property and took all the money. Because the way of the witch is everything is backwards to the wicked. To the wicked, everything is backwards, right? They talk backwards, they think backwards, they speak backwards. That's who I'm dealing with, right? They're fucking hypocrites. Are you kidding me? There's not one fucking pig in Canada who has the right to charge anybody with a crime because they're all criminals. So that's a hypocrite. That's what a hypocrite is. And the same goes for the BARF members. I mean, how fucking dare you charge anybody with any kind of crime? You're all murderers, thieves, and fucking destroyers. Right? That's exactly right. An adult bully avoids responsibility of their own bad behavior and then they blame the victim. That's what they're doing to me. So at the end of October, I've kicked the trespassers off my property because I identify as a peace officer. Get the fuck out of my house. I'm not going to continue to fucking let my home be completely destroyed by the toxic, because those trespassers are toxic. They're the cursed. They shouldn't be there. They're completely fucking destroying my property. So Benjamin Howe, Sandra Dennis, and the trespassers, they obstructed my duty to seize my stolen property because, like I said, and I caught 12 seconds of the fucking satanic ritual on November the fucking 6th when there's at 4:20 in the afternoon, there's fucking 2 pigs from Saanich at the fucking door, criminally harassing me, breach of duty of public officer, that's the crime, assault is the crime, torture is the crime, intimidation is the crime. Theft over $5,000 is the crime. They're committing fucking crime against me. So I've been obstructed from taking my property back on purpose again. So this is one of the letters that I dropped off at the house. So Monday, November 7th, sometime after 5, I'm going to be coming by between 5:30 and 6 and making an Instagram live to tour my stolen property and to collect proof for criminal and civil cases on all of you. Recently attending my property, I realize, so the same savages they've been downstairs for well over a year, but Sandra Dennis and Benjamin Howe have done themselves no fucking favors, because what they did at the end of last year, after the other trespassers left, they would have had to have fraudulently advertised my stolen property for rent. Then they got 2 new female beasts to rent the upstairs. And I know what they've done is had them sign a lease. So that's drawing up a document fraudulently, right? That's also a criminal code violation. Because they know full well that's fucking stolen property. They know full well the title is fucking fraud. And they know that their mortgage is fraud. Yeah, so the first 2, these are not Caucasians here, these are Asians. These are the first 2 who had illegal possession because they needed to launder $750,000. That's what's going on here in BC, for those of you who aren't up on current events. BC casinos and BC real estate are both corrupt as fuck, and that's how the Asians launder their money. They launder their money through the BC casinos and through the BC real estate industry. And they're given opportunity because fucking beast of Belial bankers and their satanic savage soulless solicitors are committed application and title fraud to steal mortgage-free houses from vulnerable women. So I was going to go through my house on Monday and I was going to pick up the rent, right? Because if you're going to fucking continue to fucking utilize my stolen property to make yourselves money, Benjamin Howe and Sandra Dennis, that's not your money. That's my money. That's my money. That's my fucking money, and I'm coming to get my money. Because it's my fucking money. And if you don't like it, I guess you'll have to get the fuck out of my house. Because that's my house. Just because fucking something's been stolen by pirates and robbers, it doesn't change ownership. That's still my fucking house, thanks. Get the fuck out. So the hows. You've shown no respect after becoming aware a year ago that you're utilizing stolen property. You've shown no respect, and as I live by the golden rule, obviously you've never heard that you do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. So you're going to be present Monday evening during inspection, at that time required by law to provide me the rents for November. So now what? They've been notified that they had to pay me rents for November, December, and now we're into January, and now I've been cut off my necessaries of life by the savages acting as a ministry of poverty, social destruction and poverty development. So what's going to happen? What, am I going to get fucking violently attacked by the Saanich pigs yet again? So I told them that by November 27th they had to be at the fuck out. Like, pack your fucking shit up and get the fuck out. Proof of these hate crimes most damaging to each. The entitled crime of mischief causing danger to my life is available to the public. Right, so here's 2 pigs assaulting me. These are 2 YouTube videos of fucking 2 pigs from Saanich fucking assaulting me. You don't argue with me, you fucking witches. You absolute fucking dogs. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Argument is the language style of a witch. Right, like, you're not going to argue with me. If I come to the fucking door and I tell you my house has been stolen and you need to come the fuck over there and get the trespassers out, you don't stand there and argue with me, you fucking 5'3" little fucking shit Mike Duquette. You puke. You violent puke. You're violating your oath, you puke. And that goes for you too, Jeff Bevington, you fucking idiot. You know what that fucking puke said to me, Jeff Bevington? That they don't go against banks. Is that right, you fucking puke? Is that right? So thank you very much, you 2 fucking pigs, for identifying yourselves both as children of the devil. Duly fucking noted. Duly noted, motherfuckers. So mischief. Let's look at section 430 of the Criminal fucking Code of Canada. Let's see here. Everyone who commits mischief, who willfully destroys or damages property, well, that's exactly what's happening to my property, renders property dangerous, useless, inoperative, and ineffective, well, that's what they're doing. Obstructs, interrupts, or interferes with the lawful use, enjoyment, or operation of property, that's also happening. Obstructs, interrupts, or interferes with any woman in the lawful use, enjoyment, or operation of property, well, it's stolen property. And anybody else and everybody else but me would have the fucking pigs over there removing the trespassers and putting me back in my house. Now, what's the punishment for that crime? What's the punishment for that crime? Every puke who commits mischief that causes actual danger to life is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for life. So there's going to be a whole bunch more inventory on the real estate market, because everything real estate-wise of Benjamin Howe and Senator Dennis will be put up for sale, because they'll be spending the rest of their lives in prison. You've already committed the fucking crime. There's nothing to talk about. It moves right to fucking sentencing. There's not even going to be a hearing. It goes from the criminal charge right to fucking bye-bye, you're going to jail. Right? Like, we're not going to fucking talk about it. I'm not going to hear you. Here's the DSM, right? Speaking the truth, speaking the truth. The DSM. Right, as they torture me. So this one was this one? I had another one going. So that's what's happening to me, right? I'm dealing with fucking narcissistic, so I'm dealing with flying fucking monkeys. Right, those who side with your abuser and shift the blame onto you are no different than the abuser, so how is it that I can go and report an act of genocide against me, and yet I'm the fucking one treated like I'm the murderer, thief, and destroyer? How can that happen? So torture. So this is what's happening. So an official means a peace officer, a public officer, or a member of the Canadian Forces. So they're torturing me, right, by not letting me go home. So November 27th, 2021, 2 violent gaslighting assaults on me by Freemasonic fucktard degenerate racist agents acting as Saanich police. Got those on tape. February 8th, 2022, after CIBC Puke Harmon Mangat calls the pigs to intentionally refuse me service, another assault act of intimidation, uttering threats, refusal to serve by Saanich PD. I got that one too. So let's take a look at some of the laws here these pukes have to follow. So let's see what they're not following. Well, they're not following the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. They're not following the Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel Treatment or Degrading Treatment. They're not following the, look at this. We got the American Declaration of the Rights and Duties of Man. Well, you're going to have to prove to me that you're a man. Let's see your Eldon card. An Eldon card. You can buy an Eldon card off of Amazon for less than $20, and in less than 6 minutes, you will find out whether you are RH negative status or RH positive status. Oh, and look at this. Here we've got the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court that they're fucking violating. Oh, look at here. Now this fucking puke right here, this degenerate is the head witch of the Saanich Puke Department. This is a tweet this animal sent out, right? You're going to continue to provide the highest levels of professional service that help all people feel safe. Oh, fuck, I don't fucking think so. You are literally a disgrace. You're a fucking shame. Do I feel safe? I'm in fear for my life. I'm in fear for my life. And you know where they fucking get these circus monkeys, don't ya? You've heard the term scraping at the bottom of the barrel, right? You realize, right, that to be hired as a pig in Canada, you have to be non-intelligent. Like, you're not an intelligent individual at all. Obtain the last dregs, the least desirable remains. That's right. So they go to the barrel of monkeys and they scrape past the bottom, and that's who gets hired to be fucking Canadian pigs. Oh, look at this. They're going to provide care to all. Is that fucking right? But not to me? But not to me, eh? Isn't that fucking interesting? Oh, and here now this thing is, this liar, this racist woman-hating liar is claiming that they're there to maintain peace for all. Listen, motherfuckers, those white gloves don't fucking cover the blood on your hands. The fucking white gloves? No, don't cover the blood on your hands, eh? On your fucking hooves, actually. You don't even have hands, you have fucking hooves. So let's take a look at what we've got some cards here from some of the satanic savages who have ran satanic rituals on me. Now, this fucking sergeant, John, he came to my house in 2017 and he attacked me. Yeah, him and a Vic pig, a Victoria pig came to my home, onto my property, and they both attacked me. For no reason whatsoever. Just came to fucking attack me after some fucking witch acting as the Esquimalt mayor called them up. Told a bunch of fucking lies. Now, this San Francisco avails, so Bradley Walker called up these fucking pukes and told them a lie that I was going to kill myself. Never going to happen. Not in a million fucking years am I ever going to kill myself. Let's get that through your fucking heads right here, right the fuck now. Not going to fucking happen. So the fucking puke, him, that male monkey there, Francisco, and a female pig came to my house, lied to get inside my house, and then all of a sudden this fucking pig is twisting and turning my words, and he's fucking violating me, assaulting me, and kidnapping me, and taking me to a place I didn't want to go, and I didn't need to be there. You know where they take you, right? When they want to sit on their ass all night and do abso-fucking-lutely nothing for their paycheck? Well, they fucking haul you off to the fucking loony bin. And that, I told that puke that they were stealing my house. He didn't give a flying fuck. He could have fucking cared less that my house was being stolen to facilitate fucking money laundering. And fucking title fraud and fucking mortgage fraud. Could have cared less. Didn't care. Doesn't care. The truth? I don't care. I don't care. I'm not here to fucking serve you, the victim of the crime. I'm here to fucking serve the criminals. That's what we do. Now, on December the 10th, I had 2 pigs at the door. The female pig spoke, and the female pig says, and this is fucking verbatim, I tried to get my phone to record the satanic ritual. It's a satanic inversion ritual, right? These are satanic rituals. The taxpayers are paying for me to be fucking satanically ritually abused by these fucking pigs. So, the fucking pig says, the female pig speaks, and it says, Victoria, we're here to talk about your house. Yes, that's right, skank, it's my house.
We're not going to help you get your house back. Stop emailing us. This is a warning.
Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. What was your name, Skank? Because you do have a fucking file on that satanic ritual. What's the file number? What's the file number? Because here we got some file numbers here. We got file number. So this is the file number for when I went to the pig department and reported my house was stolen. I told them to come over there and get the trespassers off my property. And this little fucking Mike Duquette stands there and argues with me. Motherfucker didn't have a fucking clue what it was talking about. Eh? Just an arrogant little 5'3" puke. The fucker's looking at me eye to eye, and I say to the fucking savage, we're not even the same species. Well, I tell you what, it lost its monkey mind. It lost its fucking monkey mind right then and there. No, motherfucker, you ain't a man. No, you're a fucking male monkey. That's why you don't understand a word I'm telling ya. You arrogant and fucking animal. Violent little puke. But there's a history of me being attacked like this, so that's why I was going through this. Here's another fucker attacking me. I had $50,000 stolen off my personal tradeswoman property. And I'm the one fucking being charged. This fuckface is criminally harassing me. He's threatening me. He's fucking intimidating me. He's fucking, yeah. Constable fucking kiddo. Well, I got a history with this little fucking puke. This fucker's a danger to the public and can't be a part of the public service. Oh, this one's gotta be fucking euthanized too. Here it's fucking calling me. Oh, what? Excuse me? So you fucking pukes, you have fucking issued criminal charges against me because I'm telling the bitch who's got my stolen property that it can't continue to use my stolen property, which is my right to do? Fuck you. And of course, yeah, it's a fucking attack. They don't stop attacking me. It's constant. They're fucking constantly fucking attacking me. So here I wrote down how many fucking times these pukes were fucking, let's see here, we've got compounding indictable offense, section 141, we've got section 219, criminal negligence, we've got fucking section 264, criminal harassment. Yeah, no pukes, you got it fucking backwards. You got it backwards, as you always fucking do. So they're contacting me by phone. They're coming in my house and fucking criminally harassing me. They're threatening me. They're fucking assaulting me. They're terrorizing me. Oh, fucking rights you are. Fucking rights you are. You're fucking uttering threats. You fucking pukes. And then here's the proof of all the fucking stolen property. So you need to know that Canada doesn't have a statute of limitations on serious crime. I can come at any time and fucking get these pukes. And hey, pigs, public service announcement, clear and present danger to my people. You're going to be fucking held accountable for the fraud you enforce. Why are there trespassers still on my property? Because you realize who these fuckers are, eh? Yeah, that's who they are. Yeah, fraternal. Fucking fraternal is right. Oh, look at here. This is Mike Duquette. This is Mike Duquette. What the fuck are you wearing? What the fuck is this? You gotta be fucking joking. What the fuck is this up here on your head? Well, that's a satanic sigil of the Druids. Yes, right on your head. You're controlled by Satan. Aren't ya? Oh, the white gloves. Well, that's a nice touch, isn't it? The white gloves. Covering up the fucking blood on your hooves. You fucking arrogant little motherfucker. You gonna fucking assault me? I don't think so, fuckface. You're a clear and present danger to the public. You need to go find something else to do, like fucking dig ditches. Oh, except you're going to jail. You're going to fucking jail for fucking aiding and abetting genocide, fuckface. You understand who they are, don't you? Like, they're constantly telling you who they are. The red and blue lights, the black and white cars. Get the fuck out of here. Seriously. Oh, see, so here's what happens when you don't have any respect for the law, right? And none of these sewer rats do. None of these sewer rats have any respect for the law at all. So what happens to them is, the King of Kings, he afflicts them with insanity, right? They're schizophrenics. They're narcissistic sociopaths. They're blind and they're mentally confused. I'm one of the peculiar people. We are neither insane, blind, or mentally confused. I mean, how do you think I hold up under all this fucking satanic ritual abuse that's been going on for 5 decades? No. I'm not the problem here. Okay, I'm not the problem. Oh, so, yeah, I was doing this, anyway, I'm not done. I was, because why was my son kidnapped? Why was my son kidnapped? And why was he sold at 8 years old? And who did you sell him to? You understand what's going on, don't you? You understand pedophilia and who does that? It's your politicians and your judges. Yeah. Well, and your priests. It's the fucking PPP, isn't it? Right? Like, you think it's a coincidence that that's what's going on here? I mean, who buys an 8-year-old child? Who? So yeah, I have a lot of proof that I'm being constantly fucking harassed and assaulted by pukes, right? There's a history of it going on, and this is not the first time, right? Like, there's proof after proof after proof after proof that a witch commits a crime against me, the witch calls the fucking pigs, and then the pigs come and attack me. Yeah. It's a lot to handle. It's a lot to go through. Because I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg. There's way more that's been done to me than what I'm showing you right now. It never stops. And now when rent is due on Tuesday and there's no money to pay the rent, and because I'm in a place where I don't have any type of security, and because no one's going to help me get those trespassers off my property so I can go home, I also have to pay a $400 storage locker fee. And every year the cost of all of that shit goes up. And the province of the satanic cult passing itself off as the province of BC doesn't provide any more in financial help. But they stole $750,000 from me. They stole it all. And nobody cares. Right? And yet all these fucking pigs have all these fucking rules they're supposed to follow, and they don't follow fucking any of them, right? Because that's the crime of breach of duty and breach of trust by public officers. So they're all guilty of breach of duty by public officers, and they're all guilty of breach of trust by public officers. Because, when you have a problem, you trust these pigs to do something about what's happening to you. Yes, I'm a targeted individual. How are you? I hope that you're not one. And I'm so sorry if you are. Because the funny thing is, only a targeted individual could ever understand the hell that another targeted individual goes through. Because if you're not living this, and it's a lifelong sentence, right? Like, it doesn't stop. I'm the mother of a forced adopted son, and now my house has been stolen, and all the money's been embezzled. I've been homeless and destitute for 2 years, and there's no justice anywhere in sight for me at all. I was just reading from emails. I've tried to go home at the end of last year. I tried to collect the rents on my stolen property, and I'm being fucking satanically ritually abused by the pigs here. I live in one of the most wickedest, vile places in the world. If you don't know anything about Victoria, BC, you should do some research on it. It's called Witchtoria, right? It's always the season of the witch in Victoria. Always the season of the witch in Victoria. We have more witches here per capita than more than likely anywhere else in the world. Well, it's also a government town, right? And government's the beast. Well, yeah, it's the beast. Government's the beast. So I'm not a beast. So there's automatically a problem. Right? There's always a war going on between the living and the dead. War. Wickedness against righteousness. And the wicked outnumber the righteous 1,000 to 1. So how is that a fair fight? Like, how is that even fair? There's rules to war, right? There's rules to war. They don't follow fucking any of them. I was also fucking assaulted fucking by another fucking agency recently. I went and I applied for victim services, right? I'm not going to get any help from them either. So who are we emailing here? Oh, look at this. So we're emailing, emailing the Office of the Attorney General, Justice Services, David Eby, Murray Rankin, Ministry Services, with Premier, Professional Conduct, Johnny Van Camp, that's a witch. The Mayor of Saanich, he's a witch. Dean Duffy, that's a witch. Well, we got Mike Duquette. This is Mike Farnsworth heads this fucking joke. We've got the Canadian Bar Association of BC. BC Hate Crime Team, RCMP. Well, the RCMP are toxic as fuck here. They're all criminals. This is a joke here. They apparently oversee corrupt cops. They don't. They're corrupt. David Lamenti, well, that's the fucking... the head hog there for the Attorney General of Canada. Randall Garrison. That's the federal fucker here for Saanich. Now, this has something to do with the federal government that's over here in BC that's supposed to have something to do with fucking law and justice. Lana Popham, Canadian Rights Media. We've got another pig, Mike Farnsworth. You know, like, take a look here. And then some closed ones. So, cruel and unusual treatment and punishment must be grossly disproportionate, so excessive as to outrage standards of decency and be abhorrent or intolerant to society. Unfortunately, though, society's fucking evil. Like, society's fucked. So, grossly disproportionate, well, they don't understand what the fuck justice is. This is the problem with the whole thing. Attention all persons acting as public servants tagged in this notice and demand. What rules do you public servant persons follow? You don't follow your duties, obligations, and responsibilities as required, as myself and my family have been destroyed by not one, but 2 acts of genocide in less than a decade because of your hatred, corruption, racism, targeting, gang stalking, attempts to murder. And it just goes on. So I did write down what happened to me and my little boy, my biological real property, stealing my interest private property, embezzling my inheritance, rendering me homeless, destitute, forcing me against my culture and conscience, and will into prostitution is hate and genocide. All of violent, vile pigs acting as Saanich law enforcement, along with top hog acting as Mayor Fred Hayes, and BC Ombudsperson ignorant, incompetent Andrea May. There's the call from last year, where she fucking gaslit me and spun me and proved herself to be a complete and utter fucking ignorant incompetent. Isn't that right, Andrea May? Are required to listen to me, a woman of foreign jurisdiction, special prosecutor on special assignment, speaking the truth as you witches continue to lie or attack me for doing my job of fighting for justice and of kicking the toxic trespassers out of my house. To the 2 racist, violent, clear and present danger to society Saanich pigs attacking me November the 7th, you are required to provide the names of the liars who called you to aid and abet this continuous ritual abuse, mischief, intimidation, uttering threats, criminal harassment, as they are going to jail or be euthanized via MAID. If refused to plead guilty to genocide, as you worthless beasts continuously prove to be ignorant of the law, my rights, and authority to destroy the evildoer, whomever and wherever they may be. It is my cultural right, of which I continuously explain to you blind and deaf beasts of Belial public servants. By right exercising my authority as victim of genocide, I will be utilizing the registry date and file stamp on a myriad of writs of possession for the immediate restoration of my real biological property, my real estate, full disclosure of government documents, as well as a number of foreign judgments for civil compensation, like the $3.7 million owed forthwith by those acting as, well, District of Saanich is a criminal organization, right? It's not run by a fucking council, it's run by a coven. As I am clearly not welcome, safe, nor do I feel safe, as proven by continuous cruel and unusual treatment by you public servant persons. Therefore, agents acting as BC Sheriff Services will provide me security and keep the peace as I collect from each criminal organization what is due and payable pursuant to the foreign judgments that you have been issued, of which you have been notified in previous correspondence. Yeah, okay, right, so... let's see what this is. It's not like I can't fucking write a letter. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's a fucking serious issue with these Law Society of BC savages, because they are just I'm not even going to open that. No, because it's just more satanic ritual abuse. They have no jurisdiction anyway. If you've committed genocide, fucking bye-bye. Like, get the fuck out of my life, right? Like, you're not above the law. I'll file a writ of possession for your application to your doctor. Oh, okay, so here, look at this. This is the abduction, the kidnapping, and subsequent trafficking of my baby. July 2nd, 2010. You should have fucking heard. I heard the stupidest fucking shit coming out of the mouth of a witch. Witch Wishart. 15 pages of fucking bullshit, its opinion, and by day 2, you can tell, if you have eyes that see and ears that hear, that this witch is already deciding my baby's going to be trafficked. And they've got no case on me at all. They've got abso-fucking-lutely nothing. Nothing. It's not like I don't have proof of what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Why would I do that? So when the witches ask you if you understand, you always answer no. You always answer no. You don't no. Like, do you understand? Do I understand that you're a fucking witch and you're gonna burn in hell? Yeah. But do I stand under you, you fucking dead dog? No. I'm above you, witch. I'm above you, witch. It's you who stands under me, you fucking whore. You fucking child trafficking, fucking compulsive lying, fucking hate-filled whore. It's me who fucking stands above you, bitch. I stand above you in judgment. And you and I are going to the doctor's office. Because there's been a judgment issued for your fucking euthanization. You're a danger to the public. You're a child trafficking witch. Wishart. Witch. I saw that witch when I was fighting for my house. That witch is still fucking causing fucking harm, loss, and injury. It's a danger to the fucking public. It's a compulsive fucking liar. Aren't you, Wishart? And that fucking bitch Gash. Brenda Gash. You know what Gash is, don't you? You know what a gash is. Sure you do. Yep. Fuck, I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired. I'm so fucking had enough of this fucking shit and abuse.